I've heard you say in videos on YouTube that you do believe that the modal ontological argument formulated by Alvin Plantinga is a valid argument which logically works in proving the existence of God. Now, the argument goes about proving the existence of God by rightly defining God as a maximally great being, which would be a being that has all of the great-making properties at a maximal level. One of those properties being existence. My question is, by what objective methods can we use to determine what are greater-making properties by which we use to define God, and how we could use these methods to uncover existence as a greater-making property to respond to Immanuel Kant's refutation that existence is not a property at all?
Okay, there's a couple of questions going there. Even if existence isn't a property, I think we can say that necessary existence is greater than contingent existence. Something that's contingent doesn't have to exist. And its existence is usually dependent upon something outside of it that is a cause of it. But in the case of necessary existence, this is surely a great-making property, because this sort of thing must exist. In any possible world, this thing will exist. And that would be greater than something that just happens to exist in some possible worlds, but not all. But in regard to your more general question, I think it's going to be a matter of basic intuitions, just what seems to be great-making to you, as opposed to not. So, and some things surely are great-making properties, like omnipotence. A being that is all-powerful is surely greater than a being that is weak and limited in power. A being that's omniscient, knows everything, would be greater than a being that is ignorant. On the other hand, is it greater to be timeless than temporal? That's far from obvious, I think. That's not clear. Is it greater to be simple rather than composite? Again, that's not clear to me. So in many cases, it could well be the case that we're not certain what is great making. But the ones that Plantinga picked, a being that is omniscient, omnipotent, and morally perfect, those are surely all great-making properties. A being that has those is greater than a being that is limited in strength, limited in knowledge, and morally imperfect. And then the idea is that it's conceivable that there should be a being that would have those properties in every possible world. And if this is a coherent concept, then such a being must exist. And after being initially skeptical of the ontological argument, as a result of reading Plantinga's work, I did come to believe it's not simply valid. I think it's a sound argument. It does seem to me that it's possible that there be such a being, and that therefore it follows that it does exist. So I've changed my mind and come to view this as a good argument.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.